In this video, I'm going to talk about the straw man fallacy. The straw man fallacy, simply put, is you take an individual's position, you weaken that position, you criticize the weakened position, and finally you pretend your criticism applies to the original position. So here is one more exact way of putting it. Let's take two hypothetical subjects, S1 and S2. So these are subject 1 and subject 2. And let's say subject 1 holds position A. The straw man fallacy is committed when the following occurs. First, S2, the second subject, attributes to subject 1 the position B. So it's attributing to them a position that they do not hold. Condition 2, B, this position that is being attributed to S1 that they do not hold, is less defensible than their actual position, position A. And then finally, S2 criticizes position B as though it were held by S1. Let's look at these three conditions. The first condition is the incorrect attribution condition. In order to commit the straw man fallacy, you need to attribute to another individual a position that they do not hold. So if you characterize another individual's position correctly, criticize it, and then tell that individual that they're wrong for holding this wrong view, you have not committed the straw man fallacy. You need to characterize their view incorrectly. When we talk about committing the straw man fallacy, the subject to which we are falsely attributing some position can be a number of different people or entities. It could be a single person, it could be an entity like a corporation, it could be a group of people, so let's say all individuals that are part of the Democratic Party or some political party, or it could be anyone who holds a position. So you could say anyone who holds the pro-life position. Condition 2, I like to call the weakening condition. In order to commit the straw man fallacy, you not only need to falsely attribute a position to an individual, but that position that you attribute to them incorrectly also needs to be weaker or less defensible than the position that they actually hold. So if I falsely attributed a position to you, but that position was a lot stronger, more well evidenced, better supported by reasons, then I would not commit the straw man fallacy. Condition 3 is the critical condition. It's not enough that you simply falsely attribute a position to an individual or that the position that you attribute to them is weaker than the one that they hold. But you have to take the final step in order to commit this fallacy. And that final step is to criticize that weakened position as though it was the position that that individual actually held. Let's look at two examples. In the first example, Tech argues for the conclusion that recreational marijuana should be legalized for adults. He gives two reasons for this. The first reason is that marijuana does not cause its users to harm other individuals. And the second reason is that adults should be allowed to harm themselves. So if marijuana smoking harms me, harms my body, the government shouldn't stand in the way of this. What they should stand in the way of is if this particular substance caused me to harm other individuals. And with this in mind, Tech argues that marijuana should be legalized for adults. Now, Liz responds as follows. She says that Tech proposes that marijuana should be legalized for everyone, so not just adults, but for all individuals. Then she retorts, criticizes this view, but obviously we shouldn't let young children smoke marijuana or use marijuana. This is damaging to their health. We should protect them. Therefore, Tech's proposal to legalize marijuana is a terrible idea. This example meets all three of the conditions. First, Liz falsely attributes a position to Tech. Second, she also falsely attributes a position that is much harder to defend. It's easier to argue for the claim that recreational marijuana should be legalized for adults than it is for all individuals, including, let's say, children and babies. And then the third condition is she actually criticizes this weakened position as though it were Tech's. Let's look at a second example. Let's say Liz just simply utters a position. She utters the position that she believes in evolution by natural selection. But let's look at Tech's criticism here. Tech argues that you believe in Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection, but Darwin held this blending view of inheritance, which Mendel's work clearly shows is false. Therefore, evolution is false. Let's look through the three conditions. First, Tech falsely attributes to Liz a position she does not hold. Tech attributes Darwin's theory of evolution rather than what we would expect her to hold, which is the modern view of evolution. Second, Tech attributes to her Darwin's theory, which is less defensible. There's more problems with this particular position. And then third, Tech goes ahead and criticizes Darwin's theory as though this is the theory that Liz holds.